In this picture, you see a bunch of protesters in Michigan. This is very recent, by the way. In Michigan, protesting the governor who made the decision to keep the state under a lockdown or a quarantine, however you want to call it, until June. Remember, if you remember in my videos in the past, I have said that Michigan, they're pretty much under a lockdown until like mid-June. Like they said they have like one of the strictest lockdown quarantine piece out of all the states as it stands right now. And the people that you see right here are out there protesting, and they came out in droves to protest the strict lockdown policies that's put into place. Let me just tell you right now, all of these individuals are dumb. Let me just put that out there right now. The more and more they put themselves out there, the more and more this stuff is going to continue. And all of them notice don't have a mask on. And I might be reaching a little bit with this, but maybe not. Remember, I had spoke about how there was some neo-Nazi groups that said they wanted to turn this thing into a weapon. I would not be in the least bit surprised if it was some of them out there willingly going out there to do this themselves. Remember, you can be asymptomatic when it comes to this illness, meaning you don't feel any of the symptoms, you don't feel any of the aches or pains that a lot of other people are feeling. You may not even have to go to the hospital. You just have it and you don't know it. You're just a carrier. You're like a host. It could be some of them out there right now. I mean, you should see some of the signs that people have. Like I've seen one that said Heil Whitmer. Basically, they're comparing him to Hitler and all types of other stuff. But if you go on to Google and type in, Michigan protest like I did, you'll see a whole bunch of pictures. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from MSNBC. It says a lot of people feeling like their liberty has been infringed upon. Reporter Rob Maloney says as protesters in Lansing, Michigan are out in full force after Governor Whitmer extended and expanded strict social distancing rules. Operation Gridlock is what they called it. Organized by the Michigan Conservative Coalition, created a huge bumper. Let me read that part again. Operation Gridlock, organized by the Michigan Conservative Coalition, created a huge bumper-to-bumper traffic jam around the Michigan Capitol building in Lansing. Mashawn Maddock, organizer for the group, said the demonstrators include Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. Quarantine is when you restrict movement of sick people. Tyranny is when you restrict the movement of healthy people, Maddock told Fox News. Every person has learned a harsh lesson about social distancing. We don't need a nanny state to tell people how to be careful. The protests had been expected to start at noon, but a line of vehicles stretching for miles began earlier this morning. Operation Gridlock, which is one of many demonstrations planned across the country to push back on the stay-at-home orders, calling on the state governments to focus on the economic toll the virus pandemic has caused, along with taking care of the sick. Nearly 17 million Americans have been laid off or furloughed in the past 3 weeks, or 1 out of every 10 workers. Echoing 45 that we cannot let the cure be worse than the disease, Maddox said the restrictions are wrecking people's lives and may have killed more than the virus. The healthcare system is basically shut down, she said. People with issues are having trouble seeing a doctor because everyone is focused on the virus. My husband and I are checking in on my in-laws, but even doing that is now breaking the law. 45 has created a White House task force charged with trying to find ways to reopen the economy. He has suggested a May 1st deadline, but some governors have said that timetable is too soon. The U.S. has more than 610,000 virus cases, and the death toll has surpassed 26,000. There are more than 25,000 cases in Michigan, and 1,602 have died from the virus. Whitmer, who acknowledged that people in Michigan are under pressure by the orders she signed last week, compared the stay-at-home orders to being snowed in. So we just had snow. I got snow on the ground here in Michigan. I got snow on the ground in Lansing, and we're expecting up to 30 inches of snow in the Upper Peninsula, she said on the Today Show. The fact that we're cracking down on people traveling between homes and planting or landscaping or golfing really for a couple more weeks is not going to meaningfully impact people's ability to do so because the snow will do that itself. Asked what factors she is looking at to determine whether it's safe to return to work, Whitmer said more testing capability. Is that we get robust testing and that is still a struggle across this nation. We need some assistance from the federal government when it comes to swabs and reagents, and making sure that we get the kind of robust testing that we need so we get data that we can actually rely on. Some governors, including New York's Andrew Cuomo, have joined regional task forces to decide when to have their states ease restrictions and reopen their economies. This, what you see or what you heard from me read in this picture, expect that to inflate over time. This is not going to slow down anytime soon. This is going to continue to occur. And what this really is to me is a dog whistle to everyone else to go out there and do the same exact thing. You won't find me doing it, but I'm just saying it's going to be a lot more people as time goes on that's probably going to try to do this. And this right here is just the beginning steps. This is just protesting. Imagine what it's going to look like if it gets to purge-like levels. And remember, we always used to joke about what if the purge one day was to actually come, where you can unleash your own personal anarchy on whoever you want it for a certain amount of time. I have a feeling it might lead into that or segue into that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I'll talk to you in the next one.